Breaking news, the SEC has delayed the approval of Franklin Templeton's spot XRP ETF, and this would have been the first ever XRP spot ETF approved inside the United States. We're going to show you how there is light at the end of the tunnel for the XRP community. I'm also going to dive into an update from the SEC versus Ripple court case, as there has been a delay until August 15th, but we're going to show you how Judge Torres could make a ruling far before that deadline. The SEC has delayed the approval of Franklin Templeton's spot XRP ETF. Now, although there are some XRP community members who are frustrated by this news, I'm going to show you right now how there is light at the end of the tunnel. As in October of 2025, the SEC will be forced to make a definitive decision on several spot XRP ETFs, meaning Grayscale, 21 Shares, Bitwise, Canary Capital, and Wisdom Tree could all have US spot XRP ETFs approved in October of 2025. So live chat, I'd love to know, one's in chat if you believe we get an XRP ETF before October, two's in chat if you think the SEC waits until these final deadlines. Now, to run you through very quickly, some of the largest companies in America have already filed for an XRP ETF. That includes Franklin Templeton, a $1.5 trillion asset manager, Wisdom Tree, which manages over $100 billion, Grayscale, which is $40 billion, ProShares, which is $70 billion, and Bitwise, which currently manages over $5 billion. Now, the official deadlines here, Grayscale is going to be first up. Starting on October 18th, the SEC will have to make a final decision as to whether they are going to approve or deny a spot XRP ETF for Grayscale. The following day, it is 21 Shares. The following day, it is Bitwise, then Canary Capital. And on October 25th, Wisdom Tree, CoinShares, and Franklin Templeton spot XRP ETFs will all have definitive decisions. And here is my prediction. When one of these products is approved, there is going to be no argument for denying dozens of other XRP ETFs inside the United States. And as you can tell, it starts right here with Grayscale, quickly following several other billion-dollar asset managers ready to not only have their filing approved, but begin offering this to their client. We know even if the SEC decides to delay for as long as humanly possible, it is mid-October, starting on October 18th, that they will have to make a decision in regards to approving these XRP ETF products. Now, if they're going to follow Canada, Canada already approved. And we saw this back in 2021 when Canada was actually the first country to approve a Bitcoin spot ETF product. Well, they're doing the same thing with XRP here. As some breaking news from yesterday, the first Canadian spot XRP ETF is launching June 18th on the Toronto Stock Exchange. So even if the SEC decides to delay this process all the way until October, we already have other countries beginning to leverage this product and offer it on Wall Street. Well, that's not the only update we're going to be providing today, as there is another update in regards to the SEC versus Ripple case. The Second Circuit will continue to hold the appeal in absence until August 15th. Now, a lot of XRP investors were disappointed in this news, and the sentiment that I continue to see on Twitter, will this case ever end? Well, I've got some positive news for you right here. As a lawyer on Twitter, Bill Morgan commented, this does not delay the decision on the joint motion filed last week. The decision of Judge Torres on the joint motion could be delivered in a matter of days. So I wanted to go over some of the details here and remind our listeners, what is the settlement agreement that is currently happening between Ripple and the SEC? Well, here are some of the details our listeners should be aware of. Number one, dissolve the injunction and release the escrow, with $50 million going to the SEC and the remaining balance going back to Ripple. That would be $75 million. Number two, if Judge Torres provides the indicative ruling, the SEC and Ripple will ask the Second Circuit for a limited remand back to Judge Torres to ask for relief described above. Number three, upon the granting of the remand, the SEC and Ripple will both file a motion with Judge Torres asking for the relief described above, and after the injunction is dissolved, the funds will be distributed, and the SEC and Ripple will ask the Court of Appeals to dismiss the SEC's appeal as well as Ripple's cross appeal. And from that point forward, the Ripple versus SEC case will be over. Now, live chat, if you're enjoying this content, smash that like button. It greatly helps out this channel. I would love to know, do you believe that this court case is resolved before August 15th, 2025? Comment yes below the video or no below the video. I'd love to see what our live chat is thinking out there. One thing is absolutely clear. Nothing is stopping the momentum of the XRP price chart, and nothing can stop the adoption of the digital asset class that we are focused on. According to experts like John Deaton and Frederick Spoli, the odds are in our favor, as many are anticipating that Judge Torres will agree to the settlement before the end of the summer. Here's John Deaton telling us there's a 70% chance of settlement, according to his calculations.
The SEC and Ripple would put together a brief that'd be a little bit more than what they did. Now, I'm gonna at the end of this, I'll tell you, I think she'll grant it like by 70%, but I'm gonna give you a little synopsis of why I think there should have been a better effort.
And we saw that better effort come in this morning, as well as Ripple has just filed a new amendment to their paperwork explaining exactly why exceptional circumstances can be proven, and we should see this settlement agreement approved by Judge Torres. But we're going to shift topics just briefly here, addressing the Genius Act, which is set to be voted on at 4:30 p.m. this afternoon. This is from Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent in regards to the first ever crypto stablecoin bill. Recent reporting projects that stablecoins could grow up to $3.7 trillion by the end of the decade. That scenario makes it more likely with passage of the Genius Act. A thriving stablecoin economy will drive demand from the private sector into United States treasuries with the backing of stablecoins. This newfound demand could lower government borrowing costs and help rein in the national debt. It could also on-ramp millions of new users all across the globe to the dollar-based digital economy. It's a win-win for everyone, says Scott Bessent, the private sector, the treasury, and consumers. These are the fruits of smart, pro-innovative legislation. And it's not just Scott Bessent who agrees with this. It is also Bo Hines. Bo Hines commented, "I am excited to see the Genius Act pass today. This landmark legislation will upgrade our payment rails for the digital age. This will also establish U.S. dollar dominance in digital asset innovation, as well as protecting the U.S. dollar's role as the global reserve currency." Now, people may be wondering, what is the Genius Act and why is it so important here in the United States? This is what Senator Tim Scott had to say in regards to the approval of the Genius Act.
Democratization happen around this country. What does that mean? For the Walmart folks or Target folks shopping, we'll see costs coming down, which means prices will stabilize as well. This is good news for the economy, good news for single moms like the one that raised me, good news for seniors on fixed income. Every time we see innovation in America's marketplace, it means prices come down because competition goes up. Great news for all of us.
Very, very exciting, not only for American investors, but for crypto investors all around the world. And this is going to do one thing for the entire crypto community. It is going to drive more volume onto many of our favorite blockchains. And the higher the demand, the higher the price. And what we're seeing right now is stablecoins becoming the center of conversation. Once this stablecoin act is passed this summer and possibly tonight, we're going to be talking about a market structure bill, and that will define what is a security, what is a commodity, what is a digital asset here inside the United States, and who should be regulating this digital asset class. I'd love to address a little bit of price action for the XRP community. We are currently trading at about $2.20, and what people should keep in mind, we need a daily closure above 260, a weekly closure above $2.85, and then it is off to the races for the XRP community. And a bold prediction I've been sharing on this show, I believe XRP not only breaks its all-time high in the summer of 2025, we could see a double-digit XRP before the end of this calendar year, guys. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the brand new Good Evening Crypto channel. Comment underneath the video. What is your peak price projection for XRP in the calendar year of 2025? We appreciate you all, and we'll see you in the next one.